Traders, how are you? This is Ben with Vestal Futures Trading. This time broadcasting you live from our Discord channels. As we said, in the upcoming days and future wise, we're going to try to broadcast in live from the Discord channel for our community members. Of course, if you're not part of this community, I urge you to come and be a part of this community of traders. It's an open channel. It's a charge free. We're going to host daily sessions over here when you can be exposed to our trading ideas. Of course, we're going to publish in the rest of our channels, but if you want to be part of this community, know that we're going to try to broadcast somewhere between 9:15 to 10:30 a.m. each morning. So if you're not part of this community yet, of course, I'm going to put a link in the description box so you can join this community. Of course, you'll be exposed to everything that we do on a day-to-day basis and the trending ideas. So if you like what you see in this content by now, if you following, you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, of course, thank you, major thank you. And we slowly, surely trying to shift the whole, to shift our community to the Discord. It's going to be much more convenient for you to be updated on a daily basis. So I welcome you all, and all our traders in the community. Thank you for being a part and member of our community. And we'd love to, of course, extend a major thank you to our new member who just joined a few days ago. So again, if you're not part of this community, you're welcome to join. The link will be in the description panel. So today's market, we're going to talk about the S&P 500. Of course, we're talking about the S&P, the Nasdaq as well. After President Trump tariff speech, we can see how the market took a deep dive ever since last week of the speech. Of course, those of you who follow us on the YouTube channel already saw about 2 weeks ago, we already started a short positioning from this point right here. I'm gonna mark it right here. If you remember, we short positioned it all the way down. Of course, we retested in this area, which was a major demand at that time. We're talking about the day interval. We see how this area being crossed right here. This is the tariff speech, and the market took a deep dive all the way down in the weekend. And right here, we already see a struggle candle over here. I want us to basically talk about the new supply, possibly supply and demand areas. I took a lift of myself to mark over here demand area right here, and I want to show you why I best it from. I'm gonna stretch a line over here so it's gonna be a little bit more clear to see over here. If I'm gonna split it over here, we see this part over here basically have any trend track. So this was the previous contract. This is what we see it in this position, and now we want to base our decision on our new contract at the right side, understand where the possible entry will be, supply and demand area. So I took a lift and basically marked over here a demand area, possible demand area, and we already see how over here in the day interval, basically the price already touched it a bit, bounced back. Let's see how it looks on the 4 hours chart. We already see a bounce back over here, which sits on the demand, flip and reverse. One time it spiked and then dropped again. Of course, if we are in a swing position, we want to basically not, if we swing in this position, we obviously want to take a long position from the demand area. Although it's not a firm-based demand, we want to make sure that this area would be valid. So if we are in position of, we want to basically test it as a swing trader, we want to take a long position from here. We're going to put the limit order for the second time it's going to touch this area. We'll put it over here, take profit all the way to the next supply area, basically risking 24,000 in order to make 67,000. Of course, everybody's according to his risk factor and risk management. This is just a trending idea. As a disclaimer, I'm always putting on my sites, this is not a substitution for financial advice. You should always consult your financial advisor. This is simply trading idea. But if we take in this position over here, swing trader, we already see how we can stack up about 67,000, which is gonna be possibly getting 1 week risking $24,000. Of course, we can break it down in the micro contract, not risking that much. Of course, everybody according to his decision making, according to his pocket, will decide how much he's gonna risk. The idea of with us, we always trying to trend in a risk factor ratio of 1 to 2. It means for every dollar you risk, you potentially will get $2. It's not 1 to 1. This is not something that we teach. I know that other people that teach that just 1 to 1. This is not how we're doing it. So in reality, we can chop it and break it if we're talking about the micro contract, where now, of course, as much as the interval goes higher, the risk factor will be higher and the take profit will be higher. Higher the risk, higher it again. Of course, in this position, if we just take a long position from here, we can see and evaluate how much it's going to be. So we're talking about in specifics, risk factor would be ratio 2.88, almost 3, 1 to 3, which is amazing. Now, what we do actually want to do is not go against the trend. So if we are in a market which is clearly dive, we don't want to take a long position. We just give a possible position of a long position from here, because this is the major demand. It was just created and the graph touched it. Of course, we're looking at the 4 hour chart. What we do want to do is we're waiting for the second entry. The graph basically, we want to see this following move. The graph basically touch this demand, bounce back and go back again for a second test, and this is where we want to see the long. Of course, after the tariff speech, we already expected that the market is going to still go down, and it's already a downtrend. So within the day, we're going to look for a possible position to make a short, to do a short command. We already see that how the flux charts already, they gave us an idea of possible entries of supply and demand we've been creating over here. We have a minor supply over here. If I'm going to mark it over here, we have also a minor supply over here. Of course, every other position over here, we can see how already how the graph met it, the supply reversed back, going into the minor demand which created over here, and possibly flip and reverse. So as long as it's not, as long as it's downtrend, we're only gonna go with the trend. We're not gonna try to go against the trend. I'm gonna look at the market profiles right now. This is the day profile, and this is the night profile. We can see how previous night was traded over here in this area. And in this day, we see how the market basically opened over here, went up above the night profile, means that he's trying to find himself area which is more convenient to be traded, get up to the supply area and drop back again over here. So as long as it doesn't break, there's no new breaks of new highs, means that we're gonna cancel over here. Those indicators is gonna be easier to see. What we do want to see when we know it's an uptrend, when it breaks the last high. So if the last high is over here, what we want to see to understand for us, it's an uptrend. We want to see it bounce it back from here, going back to here, to this supply which has been created a demand, breaks it, and they go up. As long as it doesn't go up, we understand that we're still in a downtrend. So if we're in a downtrend, we're gonna look for the short position. Now looking again on the profile, we can see we have a wide initial balance range. It means that if it's a wide initial balance range, the possibility or the likability for the price that's gonna be extended each other way is less of a possibility, as long as the initial balance range, which is basically being viewed in this stripe over here, the white stripe over here, is basically short. We know there's a high likability for the price to be traded in a different place. So with that being said, we know that we have two kind of bodyguards over here. We have low value area and high value area. Now we know that every time the price reaches those areas, it bounces back towards the POC and basically try to retest this area, which is basically the fair value area to be trading. So I don't want to take a long position. Of course, I want to take the short position. So if I'm trading within the day, two possible positions can be done over here. We have short position from here. We can short position right here. Basically, take profit all the way minimum to the low value area and basically risking 4,600 to make a 30k revenue. Of course, this is with two contracts. If I'm gonna make it one contract, it's gonna be easier to deal with. Risking 2,300 to make 14, almost $15,000. So this first position can be done over here. Of course, if I'm gonna go to the 5 minutes interval, I can take it from the over here. This basically had the high value area, trade it all the way to the low value area, and put the stop loss above, risking 1,300 to make 7,500. This will be our trading ideas today. Of course, everybody that's been trading this contract specifically, yes, S&P 500 can also do it in MES, which means the micro contract. It's going to be much more easier, much more convenient with the prices. Let's see it over here. This is the contract, actually the same contract as well, micro ES. I'm going to put the market profile on, and we're going to take position from here. We're going to do it, make it one contract, and we're going to do 800 by risking 195, which is before a starter. Trader can be very much easy to work with. You're not going to have any kind of a risk. You're not going to be glued to the screen. The idea is always, as I said, when you are trading, your position should be one that you're comfortable with, and your risk management should be one you're comfortable with. Means that you want to see this happening when you are basically move along with your day. You don't want to be glued to the screen. If you feel convenient to risk 125 in order to make 800, I think it's a very fair value. It's almost 4 times your money. So this is one position that you can test our trading ideas. Of course, as everybody, as I said before, with your risk factor and calculation. As always, guys, I wish you successful trading, and I encourage you as well to join our Discord community, and of course like and subscribe to this channel. That will be our trending idea today. As I say again, we're not going against the trend. As long as we are not seeing a new highs being break, our mindset is to short position it, which will support with the news as well. President Trump's speech on tariff, which clearly shows that we are in our short position. I wish you a happy and successful day and happy trading, and I'll see you on the next market view in our Discord channel. Thank you for watching.